It is an unlikely but happy ending for these two dogs who were found in a sticky situation. Watch the video till end to find out what happened and how they overcame their unfortunate circumstance. Unbelievable pictures of both dogs and their unfortunate circumstances went viral. Puppy scares the life out of people in a bloody photo. Pet dogs can provide a lot of joy and companionship. But most owners will tell you that it does have its challenges, such as finding the right pup, coming to terms with certain expenses, and coping with unforeseen behavior. Dog owners have to deal with a lot of different things like potty training or teaching the dog to obey the rules. Corgis in particular are not just really cute dogs, but have very strong-willed personalities. They are pack animals and need their owner to be a strict leader. They are also fun-living dogs who can be very mischievous when not properly trained. Like most puppies, they tend to get into a lot of mischief and provide their owners with plenty of laughs. One day, the owner of a Corgi pup named Gotti found his little dog lying flat on his back on the ground, covered in a strange-looking red substance. The owner knew exactly what had happened, thought it was very interesting, took some photos of the supposedly horrific scene, and posted these online. The photos you're about to see might seem shocking at first, but I promise it's not what it seems to be. In the pictures, you can see the dog lying on the ground, seemingly lifeless. The animal was covered in a red blood-like liquid, as if it had just been mauled by some awful creature. What happened here? People on the internet who saw the shocking picture got quite the scare, as they thought the pupper was hurt and maybe even dead. Who would do such a horrible thing to cute, helpless animal? However, no such thing happened. The puppy was not hurt, he was fine. The owner of the dog also showed different photos of Gotti still coated in the red substance. He held Gotti up while he was awake and sticking out his tongue. The dog was alive and well. The red liquid on Gotti's fur was not blood as one might have initially thought, but actually it was just red fruit. What happened was, Gotti had himself some dragon fruit, maybe too much dragon fruit. Then the puppy rolled around in the leftovers and acted as if he was dead. It's not the first time that Corgi played dead. He often tends to lay flat on his back like this when he takes a nap. I would also feel sleepy after indulging in some tasty sweet fruit. According to the owner Gotti, who by the way, lives in Vietnam, is only 2 months old, so actually he's just a baby, and like all puppies, Gotti is no exception when it comes to making a mess and having a lot of nap time. This small dog also likes to eat fruit. He loves watermelon, but this was the first time he ate dragon fruit. As you can tell from the hilarious photos, I'm sure dragon fruit is also one of his new favorites. His owner thought the position the dog was lying in while covered in the red liquid was very funny. The infamous picture of Gotti has since gone viral and received over 11,000 likes and was shared more than 9,000 times on his social media platform. Yes, this small dog has his own Facebook page that was named after Gotti's mother Candy. The page has more than 74,000 followers who can't wait to see what kind of hilarious and cute adventures Gotti is up to next. Having this many followers, it's safe to say that Gotti is just one lovable pup. Look at that adorable face. Who wouldn't love him? A lot of people admitted that seeing the photo was shocking at first, and some were even upset about it. It wasn't until they saw the photos of an alive and kicking pup that they got some peace of mind. The dog was alright, and looking back, they could laugh about the unintentional joke of the naughty Corgi. One follower by the name of Jeremy Smith shared the funny shenanigans of his own pet and wrote in the comments, "Once I left my dog and cat in too long, came home and the dog greeted me with blood, red over his mouth and paws. Was convinced he had eaten the cat. We went room to find. He had been eating my sister's lipstick on her bed. Lol." Another follower, Melly Brown, wrote, "Good grief, I would be in pieces. How would you react if you ever found your dog this way?" So, thankfully, the pup was not hurt in any way, but was just taking an afternoon siesta after he smudged himself with red dragon fruit. If you ever consider having a Corgi as a pet, please make sure you are up for the challenge, because if your dog is anything like Gotti, you're in for a real fruity treat. Sadly, not all stories are dogs covered in some kinds of sticky substance are funny ones. When rescuers found this dog covered in tar, they thought she'd have to be put to sleep. Yes, unfortunately, you heard that correctly. This story is about a dog who was found completely covered in tar. It's hard to believe something like this could even happen, but that's exactly what happened to this sweet stray pooch.
Also, if you've not done so already, Please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these animal stories every day. Now, back to the story.
The shocking incident took place in Lanús, Argentina, where the animal was found by two people. The poor dog was wandering all alone on the street. What a horrible thing to discover. Can you imagine a dog being entirely coated in tar? When the dog was found, there was not one spot left on his body that didn't have the sticky substance on it. The animal was entirely colored black by the tar and almost unrecognizable. The tar was everywhere. No one knows for sure how it happened. Had the dog got himself in sticky mess he was in, or had someone deliberately thrown him into the tar? Only the dog would know. So, I guess we won't. Whatever the reason, it was pretty obvious that the dog needed rescuing immediately. Luckily, he was still alive. However, he could barely do anything. The stickiness of the tar was preventing the dog from moving. He looked dead, and if left like this, he would surely not survive. Prompt action was needed to rescue the dog. The two people who had found the animal were not able to help the dog themselves, so they asked a police officer for help. Together, they quickly took the dog to a veterinary clinic. From there, a group of volunteers from the Zoonosis Lanús shelter was called in to assist with the matter to anyone else. The dire situation of the dog might seem hopeless, but the volunteers weren't about to give up so easily. They weren't sure how to get rid of the tar, as they had never dealt with something like this before. The task at hand was very challenging, to say the least. Nonetheless, they started with cleaning the pooch. According to one of the volunteers, Miriam Ortegato, they bought a lot of things, watched many tutorials on the internet, and tried out a lot of products while checking the results. They tirelessly tried to clean up the tar with different kinds of products, and at times they did get discouraged as it seemed none of them was working. Their efforts seemed useless as they were getting nowhere with getting the tar off. Despite the daunting challenge at hand, the volunteers did not give up. They pressed on and tried another method. When they started using oil to remove this sticky substance, things were looking up. This method seemed to be effective, and the dog slowly got cleaner by the minute. The volunteers were tired, but they were also determined to save the dog's life. They kept cleaning the dog's coat with the oil and used 5 liters of the stuff to move the tar. By the end of the day, this dog covered in tar was finally recognizable. An actual brown dog had emerged from underneath the black resin. He was free at last. In total, it took no more than 5 painstaking hours of hard work and perseverance from a group of amazing volunteers. The pooch was then lovingly given the fitting name of Petro, which means petroleum in Spanish. Now that Petro had been cleaned, the vets took a close look at his health. They were concerned that the tar had damage to the dog's body because they found tar in his ears, in his nostrils, and even in his intestines. They thought that he'd have to be put to sleep the day after. Petro still needed some more cleaning. His coat had been cleaned by the volunteers for the most part, but some stain remained. However, he was no longer the tar-covered dog he first was when he came to the shelter. Afterwards, the dog recuperated pretty well. Every day he got stronger, and he also started to cheer up. His sweet character was finally showing. I can only imagine how traumatizing the whole experience must have been for the poor pooch. The story of Petro's rescue was shared online and went viral in Argentina. Many people were shocked by the life-threatening condition the dog was in and were also celebrating his survival and recovery. The volunteers were also praised for successfully helping the dog. After a few days, there came more joyful news. Petro, who was renamed Roman, had found a new home and was doing very well. A woman by the name of Angelica had adopted him. Thanks to the help of volunteers, this black lab dog will soon be living a happier and healthier life. The tar-covered dog was adopted by an animal rescue due to volunteers' love and dedication. The newly found dog is now getting a second chance at life. Dogs can get themselves into some sticky predicaments, so these two better watch out. Has your pet ever been in a sticky situation? Share the story with us. We are curious to know about your story. Thank you.